misuse without any fraud like thing. So that way management provisions is required. Accountability and auditing provisions. This provision is required because those people who are working as trustee, who are working as employee, who are part of that non-profit organization may take undue advantage as it is having tax exemption, or the fund which is collected from society, from government, from rich, wealthy people and esteemed people of this society. That money should be used properly for needy people. That's the reason accountability and auditing is also required. Provisionary for the amendment of the statutes or article of incorporation. Whatever legal requirements or formalities needed to be completed to have one NPO, those all should be there, and updates relevant with statutes are also required to be completed. Then provisions for the dissolution of the entity. Dissolution means completely shutting off, stopping the operations of that particular organization. Tax statutes of corporation and private donors. Those who are corporate donors who are helping non-profit organizations as part of corporate social responsibility, and private donors, that tax statutes also needed to be kept as a record. Tax statutes of the founders. Statutes means legality, formal legal applications or implications needed to be kept. How much amount was donated by a private donor? If that private donor is having tax exemption, when it comes to his own tax statement, that should reflect into his donation. So this is what relevant with tax statutes of private donors. Features of non-profit organization, it is very easy to understand and interesting also. What must be the features of non-profit organization? Within Kolhapur like city, there's one non-profit organization called as White Army. In year 2019, there was a big flood and most affected area was Kolhapur and Sangli. In that distressed situation, these White Army people went up to the deep waters where flooded area was surrounded, flood surrounded the entire village. And we have seen NDRF, National Disaster Relief Forum. These young people who are the employee of NDRF, they also gave relief to these people who were victim of flood. They rescued them from that difficult situation. White Army was working as good as Indian Army, and it is an NGO. So these type of NGOs help people when they need it very badly. Main aim is service. Basic aim of NPO is to serve the society. They are working for the benefit of the society as a whole. Profit is not the criteria. Non-profit organizations are formed for some idealistic purpose, such as religious, charitable, or providing education, etc. If you haven't seen yet how Rotary Club works, now Rotary Club mainly devote their efforts for healthcare and education of underprivileged children. If you want to become member of these type of institutions, you are always welcomed by them. And earning of profit can never be their aim. NPOs never have their aim as earning profit. Surplus not distributed among its members. When any NPO is having funds more than their requirement, more than enough, then additional fund is not necessarily, or just because it is surplus, just because it is too much than their need, it is not distributed among those members. That may be from private donors, government fund, or people who are generously donating and willingly donating in certain situations. They are just mediator who are working for needy people. They are taking from someone and giving to someone. Their role of mediator, they have to play honestly, and they are playing it. Though earning profit is not the criterion for NPO, yet there may be excess of income over expenditure or excess of expenditure over income. Former is known as surplus and later is known as deficit. Unlike other business, surplus or deficit of NPO is not distributed among its members. Even if any NPO is running in loss, their expenses are more and their funding is less. In such situation, members of NPO are not having responsibility to overcome that deficit or to compensate that deficit. They are adjusted in the capital fund of such organizations. Separate entity. The separate entity concept is equally applicable to non-profit organization. These organizations are treated as separate entity distinct from its members. If you have seen legal aspects of business, company itself is considered as separate entity than that of its members. Why? Because members comes and goes. Members will have their tenure specific or for 5 years, 10 years, whatever it may be. But one or the other time, members of that NPO, that company, that organization has to leave, or by natural death or by any other reason. But companies remains the same. Unique names connoting their working. The names of NPO denote the nature and style of their functioning. For example, JMD Educational Society, Sri Sai Kirtan Mandali, Sri Sundardev Sports Club, and Sri Sanatan Dharma Ram Leela Committee. They all are unique names which reflects what they are into, what they want to do. Now, management by elected persons. These organizations are run and managed by elected members. Members' background, their overall social contribution, personal contribution, education, experience, knowledge, skill, these all factors are seen thoroughly and their election do happens. Major funds from contributions and donations. What is their income source? They are not self-sufficient to run their activities with the revenue generated from their own sources. Hence, they depend upon subscriptions, donations, and grants received from various government departments. Social welfare department is helping these NPOs. There are 4 main performance evaluation parameters for NPO: fund accounting, governance, product pricing, planning and preparation, planning and budget preparation. So, 4 main performance evaluation parameters we are here to look into. That is part of our syllabus. Fund accounting, the very basic source, life or soul of any NPO is relevant with its fund. If they don't have any fund, that meaning of NPO serving underprivileged people is of no use. Without fund, without resources, they can't help these people who are in need. What is stated in fund accounting? Government and NPO are required to organize their accounting systems on a fund basis. A fund is defined as an independent fiscal and accounting entity with a self-balancing set of accounts recording cash or other resources together with liabilities, obligations, reserves, equities, which are segregated for the purpose of specific activities to achieve certain objectives in accordance with specific regulations, restrictions, and limitations. What is fund defined as? That one is a set of accounts recording cash, resources, liabilities, obligations, reserve, equities, with specific activities. Now, orphanage, we have seen that people from abroad, like a country Australia, USA, or England, comes to India and they visit orphanage and they are adopting a child, maybe of 6 months, maybe of 2 days, maybe of 2 years. They have certain formalities to complete. For that sake, anyone will come and will say that I will adopt a boy or a girl. They don't have that authority. Even an orphanage look into financial status of that person or that parents who want to adopt that child who's living in orphanage. And in that situation, whatever wealth they are accumulating or whatever wealth they do possess, it's a certain portion. Immediately, they have to pass on in that orphan child's name so that he will have financial security in future. Or there is a strong chance of misuse of that child once they take away that infant or that child from orphanage. So for protection of well-being or for safety, financial safety, social safety of that child, those parents who want to adopt that child, they have to pass on or give authority of a certain percentage of their wealth to that child. So this is how they have to work. How it is stated here, specific activities to achieve certain objectives, and how in accordance with specific regulation. There are specific regulations when parents want to adopt an orphan child, restrictions and limitations also. Now in fund accounting, each type of fund is a sub-accounting entity for the purpose of external as well as internal reporting of financial estimates, budget and performance to the stakeholders. Fund accounting is a method by which NPO maintain multiple funds within one set of record. These funds are typically the general funds, temporary restricted funds, and permanent restricted funds. There are three types of funds which are used by NPOs. They are general funds which are operating, means whenever and wherever required, they have like cash in hand, general funds, temporary restricted fund, and permanent restricted fund. Fund accounting as a system of accounting in which separate records are kept for resources donated to an organization that are restricted by donors or other outside parties for certain specified purpose or use. Portions of an organization, unrestricted resources that the board has set aside for some specified future use. All other unrestricted amounts. This is the system where separate records are kept. Features of fund accounting. How fund accounting performs its operations. The system of accounting used by NPO for governmental and non-governmental. Each fund is a separate entity for accounting and accountability. Each fund has to balance for in commercial and expenditure made in accordance with the restrictions places on their use. Budget approval and appropriation is the basis of income generation. Budget approval needed to be taken and appropriation is also needed. It's quite possible that NPO is asking much more in multifold from government social welfare department than their requirement. When they want 1 lakh rupees to be given from government, they have to give explanation why this 1 lakh rupees is needed and for how much duration you want it. when you will ask for another 1 lakh rupees. And for that reason, they have to give record for purpose of 17, 20, 25 children's monthly expenditures for their food, for their clothes, for their educational stationery, and for their medicines. All these requirements needed to be given. That may be quotation or tender required from them and provided from them to the government. In that way only government approves their funding. Even a donor giving donation of 1,000 rupees or 10,000, he will have entire round of that NPO. He will look into past 2-3 years record. He will ask people if the NPO is really funding, really using its funding to the needed people, or they are collecting money and using for their self benefit. These all things are required. Hence, budget approval and appropriation is required. Despite restriction placed on the use of specific funds, there will always be a general fund from which the organization expenses will be passed. Now, fund accounting, how it is done? I am enlarging the PPT. Asset accounting, customer accounting, monitoring investment, reporting, investor database, adjustment, administration of real estate valuation. All these valuation once in a year will be done. And whenever any NPO is working with its high credibility, their fund collected in the beginning, their fund asked from donors, whether it's private donor or government. Then the fund collected, then the fund used. The people who donated that fund by their name, by their amount, everything should be presented in their financial statement once in a year in black and white. Any NPO will survive, will grow, will have high credit in view of society only when they are showing their balance and expenses in clarity, with honesty, with integrity. Otherwise, nobody will trust in the next few years. People may think that these NPOs are collecting fund, only verbally saying that they are using it for needed, wherever needed, but they are not showing their accounts publicly. They have to publish their balance statement, profit loss, or what we say expenditure statement once in a year or once in a 3 month in print media. That way they can earn trust, have credibility in view of government as well as common people, private donor. The second parameter for performance evaluation is governance. Governance is the system and processes concerned with ensuring the overall direction, effectiveness, supervision, and accountability of an organization. Governance is something which is having a cross verification, testing honesty. These all things are relevant with governance. Even if it is NPO, even if it is struggling, taking effort for well-being of needed people, underprivileged children, orphan children, they should do it with honesty. Otherwise, it's quite possible that on account of anybody's distress, helplessness, someone is taking undue advantage. That shouldn't happen. Such things in past have happened. Many political leaders have taken undue advantage of helplessness of young girls who are raised in orphanage. These cases were big discussion on news media. You must have heard it. And the way these children are treated, the way they are having their upbringing is really disgusting. They are living in very poor state and nobody is helping them. Injustice, harassment, physical abuse is happening with them. Such things when happens, the NPO is not serving its basic purpose. To the contrary, they are taking undue advantage and every illegal activity is happening there. So that for that reason, governance is required, and governance is for effectiveness, direction, supervision, and accountability of an organization. What good governance ensures? Compliance with law and regulation. If law and regulation is followed in NPO, organization is well run and efficient. Really, organization is helping them, doing well, or just sitting idle. That should be seen. Problems are identified early and dealt with appropriately. What difficulties NPO do have? Are they having difficulty in fund collection? Whatever fund is collected, is it getting utilized? If it is getting utilized, the poor and needy people for whom it is getting utilized, are they using it in proper manner? These all factors are needed to be cross-verified. Preservation of the reputation and integrity of the sector. Reputation and integrity. I have already said to you, NPO should earn the trust. If they are having controversy in their image, then private donors, and after certain time duration, government also will stop funding, and NPO as a entity will lose its existence. Last one, in good governance ensures charities makes a difference and the objects of the charity are advanced. Governing is about agreeing the purpose of the charity or non-profit, agreeing broad strategies to carry out the charity or non-profit's purpose effectively. Governing is about accounting for the non-profit's performance and ensuring it operates within the law. This is how governance is required to work out. As I said to you, NPO do have its own responsibility. Apart from NPO's own responsibility to prove themselves as one honest and integrated organization, governance from government, state government or central government, there are certain bodies who look after these charitable trusts if they are working well or not. That is what in short governance is. Now, what is stated here for corporate governance? Board of directors and committees, legal and regulatory framework, organizational hierarchy, monitoring and internal control, transparency and accountability, policies and procedures. This is what stated here for governance. The third important parameter for performance evaluation of non-profit organization is product pricing. Price is the assignment of value or the amount of the consumer must exchange in order to receive the offering. Now, 1 minute. So this is one important criteria in NPOs for performance evaluation. Pricing is usually a key element of the marketing. For NPO, it can help this group to achieve a variety of organizational goals. Now, NPOs themselves do have their own income source. How they are working. Now, government of Maharashtra do have leprosy elimination program, LEP, and those all people who suffered from leprosy were abandoned by their family members, by the society. As it is said that leprosy, it was assumed, it was perceived by people that leprosy patients are spreading the same disease to others, and they shouldn't be kept in society. Those all leprosy patients have their disease is curable in spite of their fully cured disease, their family members have never accepted them back. It happened with many people who specially lived in rural areas. Now, a patient who got recovered, who got cured, how he will survive, how he will make his meet his basic needs. In such situation, these people were trained to earn their own bread and butter by training them in carpentry work, then two-wheeler repair, and many other types of farming, gardening. They were given jobs, and that way they are earning their own money. Now, whether members of NPO who are taking benefit of NPO, living given shelter by NPO, or NPO themselves do have one income source, that income source should run in profit, because that income source helps that NPO to run smoothly. So in such situation, NPOs can help this group of to achieve a variety of organizational goals. Profit maximization. What NPOs are doing, NPO are not typically to maximize profits, but there are numerous instances in which they try to maximize their returns on specific events, a series of events or a series of events. What example is given here? A rupees 1,000 a plate political fundraiser. When they are raising funds, they are preparing certain items, that may be food item, that may be cloth, that may be any day-to-day needed stuffs or equipments, and they are selling it, and they are keeping it at high cost. Cost recovery. Some NPO attempt to recover only the actual cost of operating the organization. How? That is tolls, roads and bridges, publicly supported colleges, and mass transit. They are having cost recovery. Market incentives within product pricing. Some NPO follow a lower than average pricing policy or offer free services to encourage increased usage of product. Initially, in the first stage, they will give free service or lower than average price. Example here is given. Seattle's bus system offers free services in the downtown area to reduce traffic congestion, encourage retail sales, and minimize the effort required to access downtown public services. These type of services in India also are given, so that public will make use of these services in later stage by paying money. And the same money is used for non-profit organizations. There are many schools who are training mentally retarded children to make rakhi, or to make some wooden pots, or to make some paintings. And these rakhis on occasion of Raksha Bandhan are sold in public at lower than average price. And in such situation, when people are buying them, next one, in next season and in years to come, the same rakhis will be made available at regular market price. That way, they are creating awareness, making self-supportive these mentally retarded children, and giving them help to become financially independent. So this is how market incentive works out. Market suppression, the next pricing method. Price can discourage consumption. High prices help to accomplish social objectives independent of cost of providing goods and services. Example is taxes, tobacco and alcohol taxes, parking fines, toll and gasoline excise taxes. So this is how market suppression works out. For certain products in comfort and luxury, market suppression is required. How the price is set in NPO, pricing objectives, demand is determined, cost is estimated, including raw material, process of converting raw material into finished goods, packaging, storing in favorable atmospheric condition, adding profit margin, taxes, tolls, transportation charges from manufacturing unit up to retailer. These all things are relevant with competitors analysis, price method, and then selecting the final price. This is how the price is set. The last parameter for performance evaluation for NPO is planning and budget preparation. All the NPOs are professionally managed, but not with earning profit. So these all factors which are discussed here as a parameter, you must be finding that there is little difference in a profitable business entity and a non-profitable organization. Because the way any business entity whose earning profit works, the same way NPOs are also working. Now, planning and budget preparation for NPO is done by what way? Strategic planning is an organization's process of defining its strategy, direction, and making decisions on allocating its resources to pursue this strategy. Every organization do have certain resources, and resources should be used in a proper manner. For that, strategies are needed, and these strategies are made in planning and budget preparation. Those resources may be non-performing assets, then funds raised, then products or services created, manufactured by its members, by its NPOs, people who are working for NPO, and these all do have certain money value in market. Now, planning and budget preparation may also extend to control mechanisms for guiding the implementation of the strategy. Strategic planning became prominent in corporation during the 1960s and remains an important aspect of strategic management. Since 1960s, almost 60 years back, strategic planning started working. Why? Because resources were going waste. Resources were not being used at proper time for proper reason, for a right reason. So when strategic planning started followed, all the resources were at its place. They were used as and when required. That may be time, that may be efforts, that may be money. In whichever form resources are, utilization of resources in a proper manner, in a planned manner happens only when strategic planning is implemented. It is executed by strategic planners who involve many parties and research sources in their analysis of the organization and its relationship to the environment in which it competes. Strategy has many definitions, but generally involves setting goals, determining actions to achieve the goals, and mobilizing resources to execute the action. What I said, proper utilization of efforts. Here it is said action, time, and money. These all things are part and parcel of resources. A strategy describes how the ends will be achieved by the means. And the senior leadership of an organization is generally tasked with determining strategy. Strategy can be planned or can be observed as a pattern of activity as the organization adapts to its environment or competes. Now, strategy can be planned. We do have, our national government used to have with planning commission 5 years plan and funding different sectors like research, agriculture, education, health, transportation, law and order. That way they were helping different sectors coming under state government as well as national government. Their 5-year plans used to fund these all different sectors. Now, state government, recently state government in emergency declared lockdown from first week of March. What is the status now? Government has given indications to respective district collectors based on situation of pandemic COVID-19. you have to take decision for your individual district. How it is working out? Strategy as a pattern of activity in emergency is adapting to its environment. State government adapting to its environment presently in the market and having unlocked situation in different ways for different districts. This is how planning works out. Strategic planning is a process and thus has inputs, activities, outputs, and outcomes. This process, like all processes, has constraints. It may be formal or informal and is typically iterative with feedback loops throughout the process. Every strategic planning do have its input and do have its processes and outcomes also. Some elements of the process may be continuous and others may be executed as discrete projects with a definitive start and end during a period. I am giving you example for this. On occasion of 15th August, Independence Day, 26th January, Republic Day, we do have different sizes of national flag. These national flags are made in private press also, and there are certain non-profit organizations where people living are making them, like cutting papers, sticking them on stick, designing in proper size, shape, giving them colors and doing preparation of national flag. There are certain articles, wooden, paper, or any other showpiece, what we keep in our drawing hall or hall, that is made by these type of NPOs. And these organizations are selling them on commercial basis. Now, these all formal and informal, these elements or these processes of making this type of equipments or products happens continuously. And certain equipments are made based on season. And they are made for sake of that particular season only. This is how process may be continuous or others may be executed as required like project. Strategic planning provides inputs for strategic thinking, which guides the actual strategy formation. The end result is the organization's strategy, including a diagnosis of the environment and competitive situation. So this is how relevant with strategic planning. Now, budget, what we said, budget and planning, budget planning. A budget is a quantitative expression of a plan for a defined period of time. We have seen 1st of February, our finance minister is declaring budget. What all are the funding allocation allocated for different departments of government? How much was given for healthcare sector? 137% more than previous year budget. Why? Because of this pandemic, where healthcare as a system and its importance were realized not just by common public, but by government also. We are talking of budget for non-profit organization here. Budget in general is stated here. Our intention here to discuss budget is for non-profit organization. Even NPOs are required to prepare their budget, and then only they are having its usage step by step, day by day, or for sake of entire year. Without preparation of this budget, without knowing in quantity, in unit, how much resources they have, their usage, their balance, and their requirement for future cannot be predicted, cannot be judged. It may include plant sales volumes and revenues, resource quantities, cost and expenses, assets, liabilities, and cash flows. It expresses strategic plans of business units, organizations, activities, or events in measurable terms. A budget is the sum of money allocated for a particular purpose and the summary of intended expenditures along with proposals for how to meet them. Please, if you have notebook and pen, this important definition, please write it and try to understand its meaning. I am explaining what is meant by budget. Budget is the sum of money allocated for a specific department, money allocated for specific company, money allocated for specific or individual NPO, and that's too for a particular purpose, and a summary of intended expenditure along with proposals for how to meet them. Every individual organization allocate separate fund for separate reason: housekeeping, security, lift, repair maintenance, stationery, then furniture, electrical and electronics, plumbing material, salary, incentive, bonus, repair and maintenance, annual maintenance contract, rent, insurance premium, taxes, octroi, transportation. There are separate departments allocated. Accounts do have, with their experience, past record, they are allocating funds for every other department or every other specific natured work. Now, budget helps to aid the planning of actual operations by forcing managers to consider how the condition might change and what steps should be taken now, and by encouraging managers to consider problems before they arise. As future is uncertain and market conditions are beyond control of any organization, they are required to remain prepared. For that sake, nowadays, we are hearing and watching news that if flood-like situation, what came in 2019, if it comes once again, we should remain prepared. Whether any NPO or government working for well-being of their citizen, both requires to remain prepared by problem before it arises. It also helps coordinate the activities of the organization by compelling managers to examine relationship between their own operation and those of the other department. Other essentials of budget include control resources, communicate plans to various responsibility center managers, motivate managers to strive to achieve budget goals, evaluate the performance of managers, provide visibility into the company's performance, and for accountability. This is how budget is explained. And that was the fourth and last parameter for evaluation of non-performing organization. This particular fourth chapter, having banking, retail and non-profit organization performance evaluation parameters, is of descriptive nature. And in such a descriptive nature, there are strong chances of multiple choice questions. You have to prepare MCQ and you have to go through MCQs especially for fourth chapter, wherein banking parameters, performance evaluation parameters for banking sector, performance evaluation parameters for retail, and performance evaluation parameters for non-profit organization. Now, when a non-profit organization is working for well-being of society and specific class of society who needs help, in that situation, whatever good intention they do have, it's not that because I am generous by nature, I am donating certain amount of money to people who are in need. That may be a situational factor. Those people who are in need getting help. Now they shouldn't assume or take it granted that whenever I am needed, whenever it is needed, I am getting help by people, I am getting help by government. Then why I should work hard? If they develop this type of thinking, this particular class of society will remain underprivileged always, will remain in backward status always. And for this matter and for this situation, when it comes to helping these people, it's not that we have to help every now and then. It is always required that these people should become self-supportive. And when they are abandoned by family, abandoned by society, they should be self-supportive to earn their bread and butter. For that matter, by knowing their education level, by knowing their age, family background, and looking into their knowledge and skill, we have to train them in certain activities. Most of the correction centers, what we call them, central jail, state jail, if a convict, if a culprit is rewarded with rigorous imprisonment of 3 years, 5 years, even 14 years, he is not sitting idle there. Government, this judicial system is making him self-supportive by training him as a gardener, by asking him to work as a carpenter, or by giving him certain work after completion of his imprisonment. When he goes out, he should be one common citizen living with his self-support and not performing any illegal activity. People should accept him as any other person of the society. And this is what the major aim of NPOs, making people to come in flow of society, whether they are physically disabled, mentally retarded, banned by their family, suffering from some ailment, or at very early age, in stage infant, thrown away by their parents. Before marriage children, they are thrown away by their parents because society won't accept them. And in such situation, these people, even today's old age homes, do have one problem, that these old age people can't support them because they are physically weakened. The another serious problem is their children are not funding them in sufficient quantity. Every old age home have certain population, certain percentage of people who are not paying properly. Old age homes also require money to run their show. They need medicines for these people. They need doctors to visit. They need medical equipments, medical furniture, and their daily needed items, including food, cloth, and others. So for that reason, they have to prepare these old people also self-supportive, making paper bags, making paper cuttings or day-to-day needed items. These all things are making them self-supportive. This is how NPOs are serving their purpose. It's almost 9 o'clock. I will stop now. I will leave the Zoom meeting. Okay. Thanks a lot.